Alright, let me check real quick. Desktop audio is not playing. Alright, no, I think we should be good here. Alright, we're going to be starting up a little charting session today. I'm not going to go over the trades I took today because I just don't feel like going over them. And if you are curious, you can just join the Discord, guys. I told you, I post everything I do in there. So recently, though, I haven't been posting as much when it comes to the indices because of this right here. But I did post, I think, what was it, 2 days ago? Today I didn't post anything in the Discord because it was more close to like a break-even day, just a little bit in profit, so it's not really worthy of posting. So yeah, no, we're gonna start a charting session. I'm gonna start up on Dixie, and then I'm gonna work my way back down to the indices. So we're gonna go to full screen here, and we're just gonna move this a little bit like right there. So all right, I'm gonna go to the 1 week because I think the weekly is very important. It's telling us a story here. So the weekly candle here is telling us a lot, in my opinion. So whenever we're looking at the dollar here, let me pull up everything else over here, making sure everything is working. Let's see. All right. Right there, like that. All right. So the weekly profile here has been more of a bullish weekly profile, and I think that's very important, especially going into next week. So if we leave this little fair value gap open, what is that going to tell me? Internal to external, and that's all I'm going to be looking for is for a retracement back into this, and then eventually, Tuesday high of week or Monday high of week, and then eventually we start to sell off for dollar, and then the forex pairs do the same thing. Really, I wouldn't want to see us not leave a fair value gap. So what I'm trying to say is, I want to see us leave a SIBI, basically another SIBI here, leave this a SIBI, so we can have internal to external to the sell side liquidity there, and that's pretty much really it. Like I think this retracement was really anticipated. Especially, okay, so look, we're going to if we do create a weekly SIBI, this daily SIBI isn't really going to be as powerful, and it isn't really going to be more of a confluence to me. I'm going to time frame pair. I'm going to go to the 4 hour. I'm going to look for something on the 4 hour. Again, here, that order block didn't hold, and then eventually became a bullish breaker, as you can see, and is pushing us higher. But that doesn't mean I'm going to be looking for longs. I'm going to have my order flow bullish or blah, blah, blah. The only way I can truly be bullish is if we make this inverse. That's the only way. That's the only way I'm going to be really both-sided, because I think we're going to reach back into a premium here. So yeah, we are going to reach back into a premium, and we disrespect the premium array, and then eventually we make it inverse and we rally higher. I'm going to be targeting buy side. I'm not going to be as bearish anymore, especially with that. So yeah, we didn't hold the first one, which is typically normal, especially on the 2 day. We didn't really create, well, we did create a fair value up, now we're hitting it. So as long as we hold the 2 day, but I would prefer to see us on the daily hold the first one. Of course, the first one is more in the premium. Again, just it should be respected, in my opinion, and it shouldn't be holding, like bullish prices. It shouldn't be like respecting bullish arrays when we're inside of it. That just goes to show we're going to be bullish. So what I'm going to be watching here is if, this right here, is there going to be a retracement or is it going to be a reversal? That's all I'm going to be watching for dollar. 4 hour time frame. Like, there's nothing really here except for the bullish breaker here that formed, or you can classify this one as your bullish breaker. So we came in, we swept these lows, and then we formed that breaker there. But I don't want to use any bullish PD arrays right now. I want to wait for next week. That's kind of why I'm waiting for next week, because of that fair value gap that is going to be created on the weekly. If we do create it, if not the daily one, then I'm going to be dropping to the 1 hour and looking for a 1 hour. See, look, breaker here didn't get respected at all. What I'm going to be watching for is a 1 hour, change in the state of delivery, or inversion, or bearish breaker to form, or something, like something on the 1 hour that can tell us that we're bearish. That's really all, like I can't really. Is my stream is bad right now? My internet connection. The KBS looks bad. I'm gonna just close all this real quick. I'm sorry, I'm going to close chat out. I think that's really it. So I don't want my stream to be laggy, because when I'm watching it, I don't want it to be dropping frames and all that. So again, I'm just gonna be watching this. Let me put the music back on. I know the music's not. Music by far should not be an issue. It's just offline. And it's already downloaded. So again, all I'm gonna be watching for dollar is that. Seeing if we can form some form of market maker style model here inside of that daily fair value gap. If not, then of course waiting for that weekly fair value gap to be formed. weekly profile here. What is the weekly profile here is what Thursday high of week. And then pretty much a Monday low of week, Thursday high of week, which is pretty crazy to me. Yeah, we're making Thursday high of week. I do see us probably having that TGIF tomorrow, which is something I'm going to be watching, seeing if we can come back down. I don't know how much of a range if we measure it right now. So like around here, we got to start seeing us come back down for the Forex pairs and for dollar. I would want to see Thursday create the high week, and I would want to see us now start to retrace back down for tomorrow. And tomorrow we have news. So tomorrow I want the news to be a little bit more bearish. And I forgot to talk about the news. Let me talk about the news. I think that's more important than anything else right now. So the news here. Tomorrow we have 2 stages of news. Again, like I said, I think I said this last week when I was streaming last week. Thursday 50-50, and I did take a trade Thursday, and it was a really good day. Wednesday I didn't trade. Wednesday was one of those days where I was like, all right, hold on, I'm gonna step away. I'm not gonna trade. Monday I did not even think about trading. So this one was not a good day of trading because there was no news, and it was the day before CPI. So the day before, CPI usually is a low probability day. Price action won't be very favorable, and it can be very, like sideways, in my opinion. It's building up the liquidity, and it's accumulating, and it's consolidating, and it just won't respect the 3 PD array rule. Sometimes it will. Sometimes Monday will offer really good price action, and some days it won't. It's more of a 50-50 to me, and that's kind of why I have other things I'd rather do that I would prefer to put my time into instead of tape reading for, CPI. I mean, the day before CPI. During CPI, I will tape read, But Thursday, again, we had a good day here trading. It was, again, I told you guys I was a little bit more wary of the 10-year bond action and the 30-year bond action, because those are things that you don't usually see on monthly basis. It's like a more of a quarterly thing, in my opinion. So you don't know how price action is going to react to those. It's very hard to actually try to understand what is going to happen. And even though data doesn't matter, in my opinion. That's why you want to see the high probability days. Where news on the monthly basis comes in, and it delivers nice price action. So Thursday and Friday were like my high probability days, and Thursday today it was more after 11 o'clock. Usually it got really sloppy, in my opinion, and only like really the silver bullet and then the 9:30 opening and 9:50 to 10:10 macro really delivered nicely to the downside. Anything else other than that really wasn't really high probability, in my opinion. We're just chopping back and forth inside of a 15-minute SIBI, and then I didn't really pay attention to PM session. So tomorrow, again, what I'm going to be waiting for is not going to trade anything before 8:30 or 9:30. I'm going to trade after 10 a.m. because of consumer sentiment. And then, of course, Empire State Manufacturing Index at 8:30. I'm going to sit on my hands for that. And then eventually for 9:30, I'm also going to be sitting on my hands. I think that's very important, because you don't want to be trading during, when you're inside of 2 stages of news. The first 8:30 news here can pump us up, and then 10:30 can just bring us right back down. And if you trade, before 8:30 and you take a long, and then you're up, and then eventually you don't take profit, and then 10 a.m. comes and you're back down to break even, or you're in a loss of a position, there's 2 stages of news. ICT talked about this. When there's 2 news drivers, they're in 2 different times, and there's only those 2 news events. That's 2 stages of news. Two stages of distribution for news. And so I feel like this could be your manipulation, and then this could be your distribution, or it can be the other way around. This could be your distribution, and then this could be the manipulation, and then we go back down. It really just all depends on the price action, in my opinion. So that's kind of why I'm a little bit that's what I'm trading right now. I'm going to give you guys my insight. So that's what I want for dollar, though. I want dollar to come back down. I want to see us come back down. If not, I don't want to see us make the high of week tomorrow. That's because if we do, I don't believe we're going to have a big enough of a fair value gap here to form. So for me, it wouldn't seem reasonable to form a high of week Friday, and keep it more of a high of week on Thursday, especially for a bearish or bullish week. We formed a high of low of week, Monday or Sunday, then eventually we form it the high of the week Thursday, inside of a daily sell side imbalance. I just prefer us to have a TJF day, since we are hitting a higher time frame objective. I don't want to see us continue higher. That's all I'm going to be watching for, Dixie. For these right here, let's go to the 1 week chart. Again, forming that bearish price action. I think this is completely normal, especially after having such a bullish week last week. you don't want to see us really go below the TGIF area. I want to see us continue back up now, especially for euro too. Why wouldn't euro want to do that? We don't really have any daily PD arrays, and again, we formed the high of week Wednesday. Now we're coming back down. This weekly profile has been really, really skeptical to me. I would have preferred us to form the low of week. We did form it Tuesday. Not that we're going to be bullish, but nonetheless, my expectations were, of course, not met through euro and GU and then the dollar. So we do have this order block here inside of the weekly inversion. So I wouldn't want to see us come all the way back down there. I think that would be very, very unideal, since we already have, had this break of market structure. We formed a 4-hour SIBI. What I want is to see us go back into this, and then I'm going to be watching to see, if this market structure shift holds, we're going to continue lower, take out this sell side liquidity there, and then eventually start to see possibly, us hold this fair value gap here that was, never redelivered back into. So we can probably see that, and then eventually push up higher and start targeting buy side liquidity. That's what I'm going to be watching. If we don't get that and we continue lower and we make this inverse, I'm going to be bearish. I'm going to be targeting these sell side liquidity down here, these relative equal lows that are just really nice, that will probably likely be taken out if we continue lower. And if not the mean threshold, I don't think mean threshold is really going to be making a big of a difference, especially if we form a sell side imbalance here, or an inversion here, and then we retrace back into it. I can see us just coming back down all the way down here and taking out sell side. And then I don't think we're going to be really bullish anymore. I feel like the market is going to be more of a sideways market, especially with euro and like dollar. Dollar was like this right here on the daily chart for a while, and especially on the 4-hour too. It just didn't seem high probability to me, especially when we had those type of movements. I really don't even like trading forex right now, especially during this quarter. I would prefer probably next quarter, which is in April, I think. So probably, during April, it would probably start to clean up the price action. So hopefully we can get something clean by then, and we can start moving in a clear direction instead of back and forth movement. So again, that's what I'm going to be watching. I'm going to be watching to see if this break of market structure here continues us lower, pushes us lower to the downside. And I would like to see the overlapping part really. This right here, it really doesn't really bother me. I prefer, once more, the overlapping part. This right here, because there's overlapping arrays, and I feel like this is kind of a breaker, and it's like an overlapping array with it. So I feel like that's a unicorn, and if we don't get above that unicorn, then we're going to continue to be bearish. That's all it really is. It's not too much. And then we have sell side liquidity here resting, which is very important, because if we sweep that and then we don't reverse, that means we're going to have continuation to the downside, and we're going to continue to move lower and probably into that buy side imbalance. That's all really it is to this one right here. And if we aren't able to continue higher, that to me seems like we're going to be reaching for that relative equal lows down there, and that isn't a good sign, especially if we reach down there, especially way too deep into a discount. I don't think we should be that deep into a discount, especially, from this high to this low. We already are inside of a discount in, 1, 2, and then 3. We sweep this and we continue lower. I think it's just, we're reaching all the way down there. And I wouldn't even want to see these two PD arrays disrespected, especially with this order block here and sweeping this, and we don't go higher. I think we're just going to be bearish, and we don't hold a change in state of delivery. We're going to be bearish. We're going to reach for sell side, and then we should possibly see a reversal. But then we already redelivered into the, we already rebalanced. Redelivered into this, and I wouldn't want to see us rebalance into this inverse anymore on the weekly for Euro USD. So now I'm going to go to GU, and we're going to go back up to the weekly. And again, here, just a bearish weekly day after hitting the buy side liquidity. On this one, I just don't like trading it. Again, we had such high resistance here, and we were just inside of a range that it just really was hard to break out of. And usually when we have that, I don't like trading at all. So, and inverse here formed. That isn't a good, isn't really a good PDA rate to form, especially if we're bullish and we're not even holding. So, what I'm going to be watching here is, I don't even know where we can reach for in GU. We had a breaker there. We never really respected it. So we never really got above. So I'm going to be, again, watching to see this right here. We didn't really get a break market structure here. We really got it for EU, not really for GBP USD. So I feel like this is more, a little bit stronger. Just a little bit, not too much though, but just a little bit. and it's more choppy though. It isn't really as clean. You know, you can see that's not, I mean, not as clean as I would want it to be, especially with all that. I feel like EU is a lot more cleaner, but nonetheless, again, it's pretty much the same thing. This one really doesn't have a buy side imbalance to the left. That's kind of why I'm favoring euro right now, but it does have the CB there that we formed. And again, I would prefer to see it if we can make it inverse, especially after having this sell side swept. Not really breaking market structure since the body didn't really get below it. Until we get a body below that, then of course I'm going to be classifying it as a break in market structure. Again, we didn't really form a breaker here anyways. The bodies never got closed above. Again, you got to wait for the closure on the time frame that you are forming that PTI array. You can't say, you know, this is a breaker right here when, you know, we close above it on the 15 minute or on the 5 minute or on the 1 minute. You got to wait for the 4-hour closure to form a breaker there, because it's on this time frame that you're seeing it, not on the 1 minute, not on any other time frame. So again, that's very important. 1H, we had sell side swept, and then eventually we rallied back up, and then we came back down. So I guess that's typical price action for the forex pairs, and pretty much that formed a bearish breaker. And I'm gonna want to see, you know, if we can get above there and then retest the inverse. If we do make it inverse, the SIBI, and then eventually rally higher. That's all it really is. Targeting the buy side, internal to external. That's all it is. So again, this is all low resistance. So I do see us if we drop. I did say this, I think 2 streams ago. I really don't recall, but I said we're building off those low resistance here. So whenever we do drop, it's gonna be pretty, you know, heavy drops, and we're gonna run right through those lows. So again, this is all low resistance right here. So I guess it's typical low resistance. There's certain time windows too that form low resistance. They're in certain news events, so you got to be very wary of that too, guys. But yeah, this is all low resistance liquidity, and if we do continue to drop, that isn't a good sign for us if you're bullish. So we're gonna go to Euro GBP. Again, we never got a closure above this change in the state of delivery, which is very unfortunate since we did sweep. So I'm gonna be watching to see if we can get a clone here, right there. We can get this right here, form something. I don't know, but yeah, that's very unfortunate. Again, we're just hopping back and forth. That's kind of why euro is still not as strong as I would want it to be, especially since, you know, we're chopping back and forth on euro GBP. So that means GU is going to be like, since we're consolidating here in dollar, and then the other ones are moving in correlation now, you know, GU and EU are going to be on the same price action. One is not going to be stronger than the other, in my opinion, since we are really moving this that much on this one. We haven't really broken out of this high and this low, so I feel like we're unable to identify which pair would be the stronger one, since we are inside of this range. But either way, you know, if we are in a discount, I would want to see us go higher. If we reach into a premium, I would not want us to see lower prices. I would want to see us disrespect the premium arrays and make them inverse and then go higher. So that's pretty much it. So let's go to the 1 week on SPX. So at the end of the season, I'm not gonna lie, I feel like we're topping out. Yeah, I do feel like we're topping out. I'm not gonna lie to you, especially right here, standard deviation. Use it on the monthly chart, breaker, go, and you'll see why. But nonetheless, right here, order block, we have yet to ever redeliver into it, and you know, it might be a good little price movement. Again, the seasonality told us that we were going to be bearish for the middle of March, and it's in the middle of the March now, and we haven't really got anything. So weekly profile, let's go look at what weekly profile we have gotten. Monday low of week, Thursday high of week. So we go back up here, TGIF. We don't really have anything to form a TGIF since we have no PD arrays and we haven't swept anything. So I guess you can see us continue higher, but again, we have been a little bit more bearish, and then more a little bit bearish. And again, we have internal to external. Have a daily order block right there overlapping with the BISI here that we formed. And again, if we do the quadrants, you can see mean threshold is nearly lining up with consequent encroachment. And again, we tapped up into it and we did a big wick. We have a big wick there. That isn't a good sign for me, especially if we want to continue higher. I usually like seeing 50% not even touched or just like barely tapped into, especially if we have something like this. It isn't high confluence to me. I don't usually like seeing big wicks running through buy side imbalances, but again, the bodies tell the story, the wicks do the damage. It just shows, you know, like there's not enough strength, or we're not having enough strength to push us higher, and like having institutional order flow entry drills and like showing prices still like strongly bullish. I feel like we're kind of slowing down the momentum, which is totally normal, especially after creating such, you know, all-time highs after this right here. After what, 4,800, we're at 5,100. So I guess that's pretty normal. You know, the momentum starts to slow down. discounted consequent encroachment of the wick there. Again, discounted consequent encroachment of the wick can be used as an inverse array. So we have another SIBI, or I mean fair value gap we have as a form of SIBI though. Again, Wednesday, look at Wednesday's price action. Let's go look at Wednesday's price action. This is why I didn't trade it at all from right here. So right here is, yeah, Wednesday right here. Did I not tap it? Okay. This is Wednesday's price action right here, all the way through here. This is all Wednesday's price action right there. That's Wednesday's price action. This is the reason why I didn't trade it. Again, we were inside of a range, we broke out of it, and then we started chopping. 10-year bond, 30-year bond action, I don't know what's going to happen. CPI, you know, we had good movement. We had a fair value gap created. I was trading at 930. We caught a little move from 930, and then we came back all the way back down. And then we went up higher, and then we formed a BISI, and then we would continue higher to the external objective. This was your internal resistance liquidity, external right here, and then we continued higher for that PM session. I didn't trade it. Again, I wanted to catch the meat of the move, which was like down here, which is pretty unrealistic in my opinion. But nonetheless, that's just me. And I only traded on, I think, one account. I didn't trade on both. Is my network dropping? God damn, that shit is bad. Alright, hold on, let me keep going. Let me go back up to the 4 hour, guys. I'll mark out this 4 hour sell side imbalance. Yeah, you can just see my network is just laggy. That isn't good. Probably one of my siblings is using it all right now, but it's all cool. And then eventually I'm going to leave this right here because it's more of a relative equal highs, and I do see us probably meeting them if we make this inverse, of course. And we disrespect this right here. So this would form more of a bearish breaker market structure. But on the daily chart, again, I feel like we're still bullish until we make this inverse. Then I'm going to be looking for bearish prices. And then we close below here. That's even more bearish to me. Then we have like the low resistance here. You can just see we never took out these lows. We just built up low resistance. So whenever we do drop, I think it's going to be pretty heavy. And probably come into this right here, this part that was left unfilled right here. For this fair value gap. Even this right here probably this will probably be a lot more of a area we would want to redeliver into. So 15-minute time frame. Let's zoom in for a little bit. So yeah, this is why I did not trade much at all today. Only took one trade during this session right here, right around here. I took it right here, and then I took one up here, right there. Formed the breaker, swept sell side, pushed up higher, closed above, entered, got stopped out. It was near break even, not really near break even. It's like around here. I tried my stop right here, and then I trailed it to the body, and then as you can see, boom. I wasn't really gonna put it at break even, but then I was like, man, we're not delivering with speed, and 930 already came out. This could be your Judas. I want to see us go higher now. We're not really delivering with speed, so I knew something was a little bit up, so I started trailing it a little bit more and more, and then we got stopped out. And then we re-entered right here, a little bit early though, after we made this inverse, but it was on NQ though, so not really on ES. But yeah, look at this, just back and forth movement. And then I got stopped out around this fair value gap on NQ. But nonetheless, yeah, I think Dow Jones was the best one today, for me, completely honest. So the 15 minute, if the 15 minute looks sloppy, don't trade it, guys. I promise you, it's not worth it. And yeah, that's kind of why I'm zooming out. I don't really care what's happening on the 15, as long as the 4 hour and the daily are giving me something clear. That's all that really matters to me. Daily's telling me we're bullish because we have bullish arrays still holding, so I'm going to be watching that and seeing if we can continue higher. That's all really, I can't really complain about that pretty much. So yeah, that's really it. All I'm watching, seeing if we can continue higher. Sell side liquidity down here on the daily time frame. So that's pretty much it. We're going to go to the next one. Weekly time frame here on NQ. So again, TJF, not really, I don't think we can form it. The candle's looking like more of a doji candle to me. So order block on the weekly though, holding, respecting. I don't think we have a fair value on this one yet. We don't. You can see back and forth. There's no clear direction on the daily here. So what does that tell me? Not a high probability market right now. Created low week Monday, created high week Wednesday. We're just inside of the range now. Once we're inside of the range, you know what conditions tend to be probable? Not much. Nothing really high probability. Order block got disrespected. We never really formed a fair value gap. We formed a breaking market structure though. So, and then eventually we swept those lows. So I'm gonna just mark out these right here. I think this would be the completion of the market maker model, the sell program we're in right now. So I'm gonna put it as a dash line because I usually like having the higher time frame ones, the daily and all that, marked out with the line. And then I'm gonna mark out buy side liquidity. I would mark out this high, but I prefer this one. And this would be like more of a stepping stone if we form, you know what, breaker block. So I can't stop unseeing breakers. I don't know why. It's weird. It's weird, guys. I won't even lie to you. All I see is breakers. I see breakers in my dreams and all that. So, Sibi here. Sorry, I'm not gonna be able to read comments today. I feel very bad. I'm not gonna lie, but my network is just bad right now. I'm sorry. Probably next stream, next week. I'm only doing one a week, one charting a week, until I probably get funded, which is probably gonna happen very soon. And then eventually I'll start uploading videos. But by the end of this month, I already have videos scheduled to come out, so it really doesn't even matter. So the videos are gonna come out at the end of this month, probably March 30th. Let me check the date actually for y'all guys because I just want to let y'all know. And I'm gonna tell you guys how many videos we're gonna have uploaded. So we're gonna have one March 30th at 8:30. So we're gonna have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I eventually have one recording right now that I need to edit. So it's gonna be 8 videos. One on March 30th, 8:30. One on March 31st, 8 o'clock. This is all Central Time and in the morning, of course. And then March 31st, 13 o'clock, which is 1 p.m. Central Time. And then we say April 1st, 8 o'clock. April 2nd, 8 o'clock. And then April 3rd, 8 o'clock. But 8 o'clock my time is 9 o'clock New York time. So, and then eventually April 6th, 10 a.m. for me, and then 11 a.m. for New York time. And then April 7th, 9 o'clock. So very early in the AM session, we're going to have at least 8 videos uploaded for the end of March going into April. And that's going to be showing my December documentation with the 15K phase 1 pass with my model I'm trading. Or not my model, I think the scaling plan and reaction to my old scaling plan and what I did wrong. And then the last video is going to be my commonplace book and playbook documentation. Then my monk mode and then my trading model. Yeah, so I did have my trading model in there. And then my 15K trades I took. So that is going to be all the videos. So let's see if I did mark this out. So yeah, it's going to be pretty jam-packed for that whole week. And I wouldn't want to miss it. So yeah, it's going to be really good. 1 hour time. Again, we're just inside of a range. 1 hour Sibi. We didn't ever really come and retrace into it. So we never really re-delivered into it. So we have more buy side. We have, I was going to say we swept sell side, but it really isn't a sweep. It's more of a break. And market structure since the bodies came and they closed below there. So that tells me we're bearish, guys. We're bearish. Breaking market structure. Buy side liquidity. I'm going to move it right here now. This is your buy side liquidity. I'm going to show you guys the trade I took today, though, because I know a lot of y'all are going to be curious. I took a trade right here, guys, and then, no, I'm just joking. I think this would have been nice, though, if I seen it. But again, we're bouncing off the 4-hour PDRA. I think it's the 4-hour PDRA. Check. It's the weekly one, I mean. Yeah, it's the weekly one. I knew it. So, yeah. Trade I took was early AM session. Right here. After we made this inverse right here. Right here. I think stop loss was at these lows right here. It was pretty tight. And then I was targeting right here, this order block, but we came close. I think I was the body of it. I think it was like up here, this one. Or right there. I think it was this body. I don't know. I think I was on the 5-minute. But I can't recall, but I never had my take profit hit. I was just like I was like a pip, 2 pips away. It's very unfortunate, I'm not gonna lie. And then we got stopped out right here at this low for this candle. The fair value gap right there, we got this stopped out right there. So the trade was it was supposed to be a 1 to 6, but we got basically hit at a 1 to 3, which is still good enough. But again, it was very unfortunate. And yeah, on the 15, I think it did look sloppy, but yeah, they look sloppy today. Nonetheless, going back to the 1H, market doesn't look favorable right now, especially crypto. Not crypto actually looks pretty good. Just some coins, stable coins like Solana. Solana looks really good, just continuing to push. But more focused on the funded accounts again because I want to scale and then start putting my capital into other assets, of course, and making it more of a long-term investment. So yeah, I think we did sweep here. We did sweep, so I'm not gonna really mark out this low. It's like relatively lows, but we did sweep already. So let's see on the 1H. The 1H, we're building up high resistance since we're inside of a range and we're like accumulating. I would, since we had low resistance here, you can see we just sliced right through it. This is our high resistance, so it's gonna be very hard to go back up to make this inverse continue higher because this is all high resistance liquidity. We're inside of a range. This is more of like a balanced price range when we go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. It's a balance. This right here, right here. I'm gonna focus on the bodies, not the wicks though. The bodies, because we went back and forth inside of the bodies, and the wicks did the damage. So it's gonna be very hard to get through that because again, it's a balanced price range. Either price we go lower and then eventually we come back and reverse higher, or we continue, we push through it, and then we just take our buy side and continue higher. So either way though, I don't know, I'm still kind of bearish, but this is kind of, I mean still bullish, but this is kind of making me a little bit more, I feel like we're topping out. That's kind of what I feel, but just we have to have confirmation on the weekly. I think that's a very, very, very important thing right here. If we make this right here a bearish order block, then I'm gonna be like, all right, hold on, close below here. If we don't sweep yet, I'm gonna be targeting the sell side, and then we sweep, and then I'm gonna be watching to see if we hold that monthly buy side imbalance. That's all really. Dow Jones, one of my favorite right now, especially with the way we're moving and we haven't taken our buy side. I think it's very prone to happen, and then we can start to see lower prices, if not making this a break in market structure and continuing higher. That's all really. Order block on the weekly holding, even though it's like a little doji candle. Daily time frame, we have that buy side imbalance on the daily, not like in Q. ES does have it too though, but again, we have a mitigation block inverse now. Or we can say it's a breaker. You can say this is your breaker here. We're below mean threshold, which means we are inside of a discount. Yeah, we reached into a discount here in this wick. But nonetheless, again, we have a balanced price range here. I feel like the balanced price range is more high probability to see us go and get above and stay above it than the sell side imbalance if we make it inverse. I think this is like more of a sensitive price point. So if we come up and tap into it and we drop, yeah, I think we're gonna make this busy inversed, and then I'm gonna be on sidelines maybe, or might be shorting to the sell side liquidity down here. But if we get above here and then eventually we make a retest right there, I'm gonna be targeting this high and then eventually the all-time highs for the weekly chart right there. Two scenarios can happen. Which one is likely to happen? I would say probably not even getting up there. Probably if we hold the busy and we're strong bullish, then we're probably gonna get up there. But if we don't, we form this, we hold the sell side imbalance, then I can see us continuing lower. Again, just a bunch of wicks. The market doesn't look really favorable, but I'm still willing to trade it. Just ultra lower time frame, like the 1M. Again here, balanced price range. Balanced price range again. We didn't even hold it. We just ran right through. So yeah, I'm just like 50-50 right now on the market. So again, it's just both sides can happen here, especially since we're not really moving and delivering with speed anymore. We're just like, I feel like we're topping out since we've been more back and forth. Every time we sweep buy side, we don't make it a break in market structure, and we continue lower. Every time we come and take out sell side, which we haven't really, we're just forming more, relatively good lows. I feel like that we are eventually going to take out, and when we do, it's probably going to be with speed, and it usually happens like that. So I feel like we just need a higher time from PDA rate to tell us that it's going to happen. So probably making this inverse and then making this order block, bearish order block, closing below and then continuing lower. But on the weekly, we have that bullish one. So probably got to disrespect this and make this, daily PDA rate form and then continue lower to take out more sell side. If that happens, then I'm going to be bearish. But if that doesn't, which, it can't, or it can, we continue higher, respect the BISI and continue higher and make, this inversion order block or breaker hold and continue to the buy side. I think it's a 50-50, honestly. Like you got to go to the 1H, to the 1 hour and the 4 hour, and like determine if that's gonna happen or not off the daily and the weekly. That's all it is, And then eventually go to your 15 and 5 in the one, and you take your trade. That's all it is. So, determining the bias here is probably the hardest part. Finding the trade idea and the entry is pretty much the easiest thing in my opinion. It's really determining the bias. That's pretty much hard. You can be ultra bullish, but you can get smacked around like today. If you were ultra bullish today, you had this daily PDA right here, and you were looking for buys, and boom, you got wrecked because it went all the way down below, and you thought it was going to be inverse, but then we came all the way back up. So it's really just finding your bias, and then eventually finding the intermediate term time frame to really define that bias and give you even more of a confirmation, and then taking your entry. So that's pretty much it for today's stream. More 50-50 again, but I want to see higher prices respecting the BISI on the US 30 and then SPX and NASDAQ, making that sell center balance inverse and continuing to the buy side, forming a bullish breaker. So that's pretty much really it. I want to see us continue higher, but we're inside of a range. I feel like we're topping out, and we might continue lower for the month of March. But April, I'm going to be looking to see us continue higher for April. That's all. Seasonality right now is for March is more of a bearish month, and then eventually for the second half, which is like towards the end of March, like the last week or the last I think week 3 or week 4, we tend to be a little bit more bullish when we start going higher. So I feel like right now we're like in a little bit of a 50-50, and it's pretty much, I don't think we're going to top out. I think we're going to continue, but